Station S17, Protocol and Paradox. Chapter 1, The Classroom. Ernest is the only teacher on the military space station S17. At 6'5" and built like a powerlifter, he is a mountain of a man. Oversized, too large for the confines of an aging space station. Ernest is distracted. He is watching a military training exercise when he should be monitoring his students. He is teaching them about the other stations in the coalition, specifically the poor conditions on Station K5. "All right, class, settle down, Ernest boomed, his voice echoing a little too loudly in the small, bustling classroom. He pointed a long, calloused finger at the holographic map hovering at the front of the room, highlighting the distant, desolate dot labeled Station K5. Today, we continue our journey back in time to the genesis of our stellar existence. Who can remind me how these magnificent structures came to be?" A small hand shot up. "Violet Bush Nixon," chirped a bright-eyed student named Clara. "Excellent, Clara," Ernest beamed. "And who was Violet Bush Nixon?" Another student, Max, piped up. "She was the great-great-great-granddaughter of Bill and Hillary Clinton, and she believed in MAGA America from the old 2020s. Ernest nodded gravely. Indeed, Violet Bush Nixon was a powerful figure. Her vision, born from the fervent ideologies of that bygone era, led to the formation of the United Nation of America Corporation. Under her absolute rule, the entire planet was unified and a new era began, the space station program. Ernest paused, his gaze growing somber as he zoomed in on the countless space stations now orbiting Earth. And it was under her directive that humanity's destiny among the stars was, shall we say, preordained by descent. The military S-series stations, like ours, and the mining K-series stations, like K5, were populated strictly by those of African-American descent. A grand segregation designed to preserve certain qualities for the future. He then gestured to the vast, swirling expanse of stars beyond the station's reinforced viewport. For 250 years, these stations orbited, grew, and thrived in their segregated solitude. Then, a great cataclysm struck Earth, rendering it uninhabitable. But we, the descendants of those chosen to venture into space, we endured. And from that crucible, a new understanding was forged. These once segregated stations, the S and K series, formed a powerful coalition, not out of decree, but out of necessity, to protect the last remnants of humanity. Ernest's voice softened. And that, class, is why Station K5, despite its harsh conditions, is a testament to our survival and our collective future. He sighed, his gaze drifting from the map to the real-time feed of a military training exercise on the outer hull, a flicker of wistfulness in his eyes. He should be focusing on the children's questions, on the nuances of this complex history, but the rhythmic flash of the training lasers drew his attention. A silent yearning for a life he was denied. Back in the classroom, Ernest asks, "Who knows the original name of our station?" Everyone's hand shoots in the air. Ernest surveys the room and picks Lucius from the back of the room. "Station S17, designated the Crispus Attucks," Lucius screams at the top of his lungs. His classmates cheer his answer and his strong, positive, and proud military attitude. Ernest raises a hand to quiet them down. He waits for everyone to give him their undivided attention. "Yes, that is the current name of our station. Attucks was an African American from the 1720s. He is considered to be the first person to die in the Revolutionary War between the 13 colonies and Great Britain. However, our station was originally called the Wanderer, the name of an infamous slave cargo ship that brought slaves to the United States of America 50 years after it was outlawed. Our predecessors changed the name because in a conflict, our skill, our will, our bravery, we are the first into battle and the last ones to leave. We embody the sacrifice Crispus Attucks made. Ernest watches his student absorb the information. The tone in the small classroom darkens and deepens. He sees the wheels turning in the students' minds. Before anyone can ask a more probing question, "What is the station's motto?" Ernest asks. In perfect unison, the entire class loudly replied, "What's best for the station is always best for all of us." Ernest nods, a serious expression on his face. "And what's best for the station," he adds, looking at each student, "is always built on keeping your word and telling the truth."